What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Hope Shot. Hope everybody's having a great week. It is hump day. We're halfway there to the finish line. Unless you're working this weekend, then there's no finish line. But maybe the next weekend. We'll try again next weekend after that. Hey, if you're just jumping on, say what's up. Let us know you're here. And then, Christina, will you read that clarity statement?
Yes. Okay, the Hope Shot Clarity Statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common: recovery as a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. Thank you for being part of our Hope Shot. Thank you for being part of our family, the Hope Shot.
Thanks, Christina. What's up, Katie? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Tonight, man, it's I think what our topic is going to be. We're just gonna get out right off rip with it. Is where did I put it? Oh yeah, there you go. Okay. The balancing game of life. Oh man, I think everybody knows about that game. Yeah, it's always ever changing and ever evolving and ever getting away from us. And when we think we have it, there it goes again. Like I just had everything. I just put everything where it needed to go. How the hell did everything get out of place again? And that is like the name of the game, because like when I'll have like all my ducks in a row, and then I'm like, hey man, I got my ducks in a row. Let me add one more thing. Let me just add another and another and another. Look, my addiction comes out in all facets of my life. Okay. If it's not food, it's work. If it's not work, it's activities. If it's not activities, it's work again. It's just all work. It's just all work. It's really no activities at all. It's just work. Work is now the activity. So and man, it becomes stressful. It becomes overwhelming at times. This past month has been very overwhelming, especially with the changing of everything. It's like, how do I find that balance again? And then another thing is, one thing I don't do well anymore, and this is something I have to get better at, is the self-care aspect. I used to do really well at self-care when I had just maybe a couple things, but then now that I have a lot more responsibilities and a lot more things happen, and guess what? The kids are growing up. Guess what they got? More responsibilities, more of the things, right? So we got soccer, we got freaking cheerleading. I got to be here, that, there, and everywhere. Things are costing more money. Holy crap, I need to make more. I got to do stuff. Oh, man, it just becomes overwhelming at times. And it's like, man, sometimes I have to step back and take that break. Even, what I love is when I can just sleep in, and I know this sounds, sleep until 7 o'clock, I'll be all right. You know what I mean? I feel like I entered a new realm of life when I sleep in the 7 o'clock. I'm like, man, and just that little bit of extra makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I get something instead of like just giving all the time. And that does it for me sometimes. I never sleep past 7 o'clock anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Like there is no sleeping in. Like I remember when I was younger, I could sleep in until like 9 o'clock or maybe 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or maybe sometimes 12, depends on how late I stayed up. But man, now I'm looking up, I can't sleep past 7 o'clock and I can't go to bed past 11, I'm freaking done. But yeah, man, it's finding the balance again. And I think that's where I'm at right now, and we were talking about this topic, but I didn't want to talk about it because that is something that I'm not having right now, a balancing game, and I'm not in the game right now. The game's got me. The game's got me, man. It's got checkmate, and I'm trying to figure it out. It's like, what do I do? What can I do? How do I make this work? Where can I stop being all the doing? Where can I pause for a minute and stop doing all the doing? When there's a lot of doing that needs to be put in. And yeah. And you know what it is? Yes. And you know what it is? It's, you got to say no sometimes. I think that's the longest word in the dictionary. No. It's like, how come I can't repeat? I can say no to certain things, but a lot of things, man, I think I could do this. Yeah. I could do this. And then I say yes to too many things, and guess what, man? It's over. I'm overwhelmed, you know, and that's that's okay, because then you can reel it back in, be like, all right, calm it down. You got past this point. Now you got to freaking don't say yes all the time anymore. Like on weekends, like I still feel like I can hold on the drywall. Okay, I hold on to it, and I like, yeah, I could do this on the weekends. I could do some things, and then I am freaking maxed out. I am maxed out, and I got sick this past weekend. I got freaking food poisoning, and I had to still go to work because I already had my commitment, and I was not in the. I was messed up. I was so sick. I did not want to go. I had to. I had no choice because there was nobody saving my ass. It was me saving my ass. So I had to go to work and I had to get things done, and I did it anyways. And I was sicker than a dog, and it sucked. And I said, you know what? I'm never doing this to myself again.
Right.
Doing this. I'm not doing this anymore, man. I'm done. I can't keep doing this because it is overwhelming, and there's nobody come to save my ass, And I was sick, man. I was up all night. It was horrible. It was so bad. And then I was sick for the next 2 days after that, But I still did what I needed to do, and I got it done no matter what, right? Because we make commitments and we got to finish them out. And that's one thing I'm big on is finishing commitments. If you do something, you say you're gonna do something, you do it anyways. You gotta get through it. But also to remind myself, don't put yourself in these situations anymore. Like, give yourself the weekends. Another thing I did was I took on doing my daughter's room. I'm remodeling at the moment. So, and I'm like, all right, it's be easy, no big deal. No, it's becoming a little bit more than what I wanted to, but we're almost there. We're almost done. Like another commitment, but I'm getting it done. So I'm like, all right, I need to calm down and slow down. I did too many yes moments, too many yeses on everything. And now I got to freaking bring it on back now, y'all, and find that balance again, because my balance has been way off. And, that's where I'm at right now, in my stuff. And always the last thing to get on the to-do list is your recovery. It's just the way it is, step work. It's going to meetings, and I always hit my home group. That is a number one thing that I usually always get to. And it's the extra stuff that doesn't get put in. We don't go to the extra meeting. We don't go to the, open the book to do the step work. We got to let it go to the wayside. And that's another contingency of finding balance again, because that stuff is important. It's important to me. It's important for myself, my sanity, especially with the high stress level jobs that we do, working. It is important that we bring it back in and get the things done, and make sure that we're not totally saying yes to too many things and saying no to too many things. You know what I mean? Because if we're saying yes to something, there's a no on that too. And what are we saying no to? It's mostly myself, and it's mostly my recovery, or, self-care, or the good stuff, right? It's just different climates, man, as we go through, and finding that again. That's where I'm at with this topic. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, let me say what's up with some people real quick. I'm gonna say what's up to Rachel. She says, hey, wifey. Hey,
hi, wifey.
You see her squinting her eyes. She can see it somewhat. It's like, okay.
I can't see none of that. I'm just saying.
I know. My eyes get horrible.
Oh, snap. This is going to be a good one. Yep. Katie, me and Kenzie was just talking about balance this morning.
We were, yes.
Go figure. Ryan, surrender. Yeah, that too. Exactly. Mike Miller, good to see you, man. It's that real. Yes, it is. It is. Anyways, go ahead, Christina.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I can relate to everything that you said, Justin. And I think, just like, for example, we were just talking about how it dawned on me that, the recovery walk is the same weekend as Region Weekend, right? And it's like, how did that happen? How did that sneak up on me? And then I was just talking to Kelly earlier, and I was like, oh, about the fundraiser that they're having, right? And it's like, oh, yeah, I want to go to that, but then it falls on another weekend that something's already planned, and it's just like, I just feel like, as we're growing in our recovery, we're meeting more people, we're doing more things, we're out in the community. It just seems like there's always something going on, and there's just not enough hours in the day. And I think that what I find myself doing is I find myself putting expectations on myself, like I'm 20 years younger. There's things that I used to be able to do, like I used to be able to clean my whole freaking house in a day. Give me a couple of hours, I'd clean it top to bottom. Now I need like 3 weeks, a little bit here, a little bit there. And you don't even want to see what it looks like in the first 3 to 4 hours. I mean, sometimes I get 3 to 4 hours in and I'm looking around like, what have I done? Like, oh, I really did it now. Now I got to clean this shit up. You know what I mean? And, and then there's also the procrastination factor to where I put things off thinking that I'm going to be able to do them later. And then later comes and I can't do them then either. Right. I just add more to my plate thinking, oh yeah, later is going to be better, but it's not better, so that's something that I'm always fighting against. And I do the same thing. Like I'll have so much on my plate and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to lose it, and I start getting like the efforts and to where like all the shit can burn up in a blaze and I wouldn't give a shit. Right. And then I start taking some things off, whether I drop the ball and they fall off my plate or whether I just, make the steps to take it off my plate. But then I got a little bit of room on my plate. And what the hell do I do? Now I'm in my mind, right? I'm not filling it. I'm probably filling that time with like laziness and like watching TV or scrolling on social media. So then that becomes a problem. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So then I pick something else up, right? Because the idle time isn't good either. I'm not feeling, right. So it's like a cycle. It's like this cycle that I go through. And you're right. Like the first thing like the things that I could do that would make these stressful days easier are the things that I avoid and fight against, like the uncomfortability of maybe working out or eating better or making sure I get to sleep at a decent time and making sure I wake up at a decent time. Like I'm the complete opposite, Justin. I used to be able to wake up at 5 a.m, get to the gym, work out, go to work. Now I can go to bed 8, 9 o'clock at night and I'm dragging my ass out of bed at 7 o'clock, thinking like feeling like I didn't get any sleep at all. So then it's like, now I'm trying to get on this health journey, right? So I'm going to these doctor's appointments because it's like, I know something's going on, but the blood work all says it's fine, and then I got the kids and I swear between their dentist appointment, they're going to the dentist 4 times a freaking month. Like I can't even keep track of it. I'm just like, I feel like this is too much for going to the dentist. And then their doctor's appointments, right? And then something happens with the dogs. And it's just like, I feel like there's just never enough time. And I don't know if that's just like part of me not using proper time management or there's just too much to freaking do, and then my teenagers, they think that like my world revolves around them. So, if they have cramps, they expect that I'm going to bring them, some medicine, or I can come pick them up and I'm driving all around town and it ain't nothing to them. But I just feel like I feel like I'll have like a plan for my day, right? And sometimes it goes accordingly, but sometimes nothing goes the way that I need it to go, But what I have noticed is like the more I keep going, like the better I am at just keep going. It's those times like on Sunday when I kind of just like stayed in my bed. I did not get out of my bed all day. It was the day before, a couple days before my birthday, but Saturday was a full day for me. So Sunday, I'm like, I'm not getting out of my bed. And I feel like when I take those days, I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is me restoring, right? I'm restoring. But I end up feeling freaking worse that Monday morning. It's like the second I stop and let my body rest, then I'm dragging. But if I just keep going, sometimes I can just keep going, but then my body's like, yep, you're done, and then I get freaking sick or whatever. But Recovery was a huge thing that I kind of fell off a few weeks back, maybe a month or two, where I found that I was like maybe going to a meeting once a week. And then I had to purposely put some things in place for me to make sure that I'm at my home group at least, right? I had to purposely pick up some commitments, some major commitments, to make sure that I was there, because it's very easy for me today to be like, yeah, I'm not going to that meeting, because once I get home, I'm just like, yeah, why do I don't need to leave. I'm not going back out. And that's when, at least if I'm going to meetings, and it kind of keeps me centered in like recovery and the things that I need to do for my recovery. So as long as I have that aspect going, now it's usually a couple of weeks of this unbalance and this craziness when I start thinking, all right, I need to get back into my step work and prioritizing my step work. I'm horrible at prioritizing step work. I'll sit there and I'll sit down and watch the same series on television that I've watched 27 times, right? Just to sit there and kind of decompress, but I won't come sit down at my table and answer 2 or 3 questions for my step work, right? And so for me, like balance lately is kind of hard for me, because I know that it's like me getting in my own way. I always thrived off being like a go chaotic person. I thrived off chaos and the drama of just going. And as I'm getting older, my body's kind of changing. My mind like can't handle it. And I almost feel like I'm like a outdated freaking Windows that crashes every 5 seconds. You know what I mean? It can't handle it. It can't handle the load. You should have seen me like when I was working today, sitting in front of the computer, dealing with the meeting list and trying to send emails. I kept having to like go sit down and just close my eyes for a minute. Right. Because I feel like, and I don't know if it's from the scrolling on social media or not, maybe it is, but, I just feel like burnout, like a little bit of a burnout. And don't get me wrong, everything that I do and fill my day with, I absolutely love, but burnout is burnout, right? So, I just have to be mindful of what I'm putting my energy into today. And I have to say no a lot. Every time I turn around, it's somebody's celebration. Every time I turn around, it's somebody's birthday. Every time I turn around, somebody's having a freaking baby. Every time I turn around, like there's an event, and then it's just like, and it's really sucks that I have to pick and choose of what those things that I can do, and that a lot of the times I have to say no because of, like you said, all of the things that I do say yes to. I'm super grateful that this weekend, though, I'm going to Georgia and I'm unplugging and not taking my phone, and I'm going to take my kids, and I'm probably going to regret it from the second that I get there, but it's okay. It's okay. Christopher said, if there's a river there, we're going to go find some oysters, and he's going to get me a couple pearls because they're worth $500. I said, well, we're going to need about 500 of them. So I said, have you ever gone looking for pearls and oysters before? He said, nope. I said, oh, okay. All right, let's do this. But balance is a great topic. I feel like it's something that I've struggled with since day one. I remember when I first came into recovery, I picked up every commitment. I went to every little thing because I wanted to be seen. The fear of missing out, the fear of, what did I say? Fear of missing out and fear of, I was just thinking of something earlier. Anyways, but I used to say yes to everything. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to, like I wanted to be noticed and stuff. And now it's just different. I just don't have that same mentality that, so I don't pick up commitments like that if I know I can't keep them, because I too don't like saying I'm going to do something and then I don't do it. But what happens is when I put too much on my plate, that's exactly what I do. And I'll make a commitment and then I'll forget it, or I'll last minute just be like, I can't, I'm not doing it, because I get to that point and it's not as important to me when I'm, exhausted, or stressed out or my spirit's low. So, God, I had a good one. It was fear of missing out and fear of, whatever. It'll come back to me.
Yeah, it'll come back eventually. I don't know what when you said when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. Eminem popped in my head. I don't know about y'all. Eminem popped in my head. I'm like, damn, what you think? I'm doing this for me. Yeah, that's good stuff. Hey, and if you guys are struggling with something, man, put it in the comments. Let us know what you guys are going through right now. You know, if you guys are just, or maybe you have the balance. Let us know what you doing. Okay, if you got the balance right now, let me know. I'm not talking about the shoes. Okay, I'm not talking about the shoes. Let's see. Mike says, even in the madness of life, it's crazy. I'm always reminded I get to do this today because of recovery. That's right. And then we have Rudolph says, honestly, Christian, I think you're touching on something we don't always acknowledge or validate. It is the recovery. It is that recovery is very much on a continuum. Being able to recognize this as we grow, it's vital for our own sanity. Yes, it is. For our own sanity, because we go insane sometimes trying to find that balance. We're like, damn, where'd it go? Just put it right here. Just like them keys. You know, it's like, I just put them right here. Now they go. Rachel says, keeping my recovery as my top priority is what helps me navigate through the times in life when my life is out of balance. I hold myself accountable to the minimum of 3 to 4 meetings a week, joined a new home group, which is a writing meeting that keeps me moving in my step work. And I stay in regular contact with my sponsor. Without my routines, life gets overwhelming super fast. And there's definitely no balance whatsoever. Straight up chaos machine at that point. Yeah.
I was going to say fear of going without. That's what I was going to say. Fear of missing out and fear of going without.
Fear of missing out
and fear of going out.
Going without. All right. We don't want you to go without. Okay. All right. What you got? Kenzie? Ladies first. Dave, you want to go? What you got?
Yeah. No, this is a great topic. I hate this topic. I hate this topic because
why do you think I was trying to deflect, bro? I was trying to deflect it, but it didn't work out for me.
I don't want to talk about balance. It's interesting because when I get here and I plug into recovery, I'm, suggested that I do a lot of things, and I get plugged into these things that make me uncomfortable that I don't want to do, and I practice those things, and and then I start to enjoy those things. But my disease, if you will, it's cunning, man. Like the way my mind works is I can weaponize anything and twist it around to my own benefit. And I've caught myself doing that with recovery as well. I mean, I've told my wife I can't help around the house because I got a meeting. I got to take care of my recovery first. You know what I mean? This balance, I lose sight if I'm not careful and I'm not grounded. I lose sight of what the purpose of this whole recovery thing is. Because when I get here, I'm desperate and I'm out of options. I have nowhere else to go. And this is just the last stop on the road. And the point of recovery, as I understand it on my best day, is that I get to be a part of life today. I get to contribute to life. I get to be out here and I get to, be with I get to have a family and show up for my family and friends and relationships that I get to construct and maintain. And I lose sight of that. I mean, I can try to balance myself, till I'm crazy. I was never there for my kids, when I'm getting loaded. I get into recovery. I get so into recovery that if I'm not careful, I'm never there for my kids anyways. You know what I mean? Because and that's the way my mind twists these things up, because at the root of my illness, I'm selfish and self-centered. You know what I mean? So trying to balance all these things, I got to keep my eye on the prize, which is what? To be a part of life. I didn't plug into this thing to isolate within this thing. I plugged into this thing so I can broaden my horizons and show up for my family today. And I put, I talked to a buddy last night. He asked me if I could do something in 2 weeks. And I said yes. And I was dishonest because I was already booked and I felt really bad. So I called him this morning. I was like, hey, I already have plans with someone else. And I looked at my calendar and I realized I had to call her too, because I was actually triple booked. I had plans before I made plans with her too. So I had to make a couple apologies. And that's just because I have ongoing commitments on Tuesday nights, and I didn't even put them in my calendar because I don't need to, because I'll never forget them. So I immediately forgot them, and then I'm you know what I mean. I can't. So balance. I don't know. Good. I'm a big believer in like 32-hour days. If I can get 32-hour days, I can get a lot done in 32-hour days. But 24-hour days ain't cutting it, I mean, I do the best that I can, and I get sucked into, whatever it is, man. And Justin was right. Like, that recovery is usually the first thing to suffer, which is ironic because when I get caught up in the minutia, that's the thing that I need the most, and that's the thing I put furthest away from me, is taking that time to center myself. And Christina said something that really hit me too, that procrastination that I'm capable of. I was told that procrastination is like the audacity to think that I'm owed more time tomorrow to do what God gave me time to do today.
Yeah.
And that's my ego telling me, like, yeah, I'm owed more time, and I forget that because when I got here, I was sold on the idea that I was on borrowed time. Like every minute is a gift. I'm not supposed to be here, but I stick around for a little bit and my ego starts to grow again. And I'm like, nah, man, I can do this tomorrow. You know what I mean? And the opposite of that, because I'm insane, is, again, if I'm not careful, I say yes to everybody. And if I can really be honest with myself, it's that ego that creeps back and tells me if I don't take care of this whole world is going to fall apart because I'm the only one that can. You know what I mean? And it turns out that's my inability to be humble, and which is the greatest gift I ever got was humility. And, the funny thing about humility, I was told, is as soon as I recognize that I have humility, by definition, I've lost humility. You know what I mean? And when I lose it, my ego just takes control again. And now I have to be everywhere because if I'm not going to take care of these things, then no one's going to take care of these things. And, so a lot of it, man, balance for me on my absolute best day is just kind of going with the flow. I try to plan my day in the morning and just show up and do what I can while I'm there. And as soon as I take the reins, I tend to like drive into a wall. You know what I mean? When I take control of things, so the best thing I can do as far as balancing is just do what I'm asked to do. You know what I mean? Stay plugged in, shut up. And say, yeah, sure thing. You know what I mean? I'm not owed any more time. You know what I mean? I'm grateful to be on my best day. I'm grateful to be here, which, so yeah, balance. I don't know. Good luck. Yeah. I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah, no. And that's the thing, man. If we think we're owed something, man, we are in trouble. Ain't nobody owe me nothing, and I got to make every day count because, as this world turns. Isn't that some kind of soap opera? As the world turns. It's life is precious, and the thing is, it's like it's so fast paced, and it's like gotta do the things, and you come out one bag of groceries that's like $100, and you're like, damn, what the hell? I gotta go to work then. Gotta work harder, and it's like as these things happen and the life is so fast paced and you have dreams and goals and that's that and the other thing, man, we forget, man, to enjoy life as well, to stop for a minute and smell the damn roses, because shit, man, I remember when I was killing myself out there and I forget that I once was desperate, broken, and pathetic, that I was out here killing myself literally. And now I'm in this life and I feel like I'm trying to, like, again, like we chase things and we don't even do it like we do it subconsciously, like not consciously, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, it's like, where we're trying to get to, what is the end game? What does that look like? When is contentment going to be the deciding factor of everything and everything's going to be perfect, in that perfect balanced place of what, So what we got to think about sometimes is just stop for a minute and smell the roses. And I'm telling myself this, I'm talking to me because I need to stop and smell the roses like every once in a blue moon. I just need it, and we forget, man, how that works. as Rachel, as a sober house. I love you, Rachel. I just want you to know that.
Never a dull moment over there.
Yeah, Kenzie, what you got on balance? You balancing? Are you balanced?
No, no, my life is far from balance. I was talking to Katie this morning about balance, and here's what I know about me is I have the greatest things in the world to say, and I cannot follow them for my own life. Right? Like I can give some pretty good advice, but I will never follow my own advice. And maybe I'm supposed to be an example, right? Because my life is overwhelming, and I have no balance. Right? I can relate with Christina, right? When I first got here, I just wanted to be seen. I wanted to be everywhere all the time. My entire existence was recovery, right? Because, like Dave said, I was fucking desperate when I got here, man. I was willing to do whatever it took. And like, they told me, you got to do these things. And like, I'm an addict. So I did those things to the fucking extreme, right? I had to go to everything all the time, no matter what. Every person that was like, come to do this. And I was like, yeah. And then, like I got my life back a little bit. And with that comes responsibility. And, I wanted all those things too, like the house, the car, the job, the happy family, all that shit, and then I found myself, fucking killing myself again to get these things, right? And, I had a really, really labor intensive job, and I was killing myself there, but I needed money to pay for all those things, and the house and the baby and the cars and the dog and the fucking lawnmower and shit, and all these things that I had to have. And sometimes my life is balanced. I think like there's a nice wave to it, right? There's no ever like straight balance in life, but you can kind of flow with the little wave of life. Like one area will suffer a little bit, but you're doing a little bit better in the other one. And over the time I've been here, like I've had that nice little wave, and then I've had crashes, right? Like right now, I work 3 jobs. I'm fucking tired. I have a 3-year-old. She's going to be 4 next week, and she takes a lot of energy. And I feel like I'm repeating behaviors from when my kids were little, right? Because I can't find balance in my life. I work too much. I have too much going on. I got too many fucking sponsees. I go to too many meetings. I do too many things. And this little girl who only has me is suffering, right? And because she just wants to be with me. She just wants to be in my ass at all times. I haven't been to the bathroom by myself in 4 years, and I feel like I'm repeating those same behaviors. I was always busy with my kids when they were little, and here I am having another chance. God graced me with another chance to have another baby, and I feel like I'm neglecting that time. But I do the best I can, and like you guys, the common denominator here was my recovery suffers first, and that's just not the case for me. Like I'm not willing to give up my recovery for anything, right? I will not miss meetings, right? I go to everything that I need to go to. Like I still go to 4 meetings a week. Old man Pete told me this years ago when I met him. He said 15 minutes a day will save your life. 15 minutes a day will save your life, Kenzie. And I said, what the fuck does that mean, right? And I'm sorry I'm cursing. I'm probably not supposed to do that on here, but y'all know me, so it is what it is. I said, what does that mean? And he said, take 15 minutes out of your day, sit down and do something for your recovery, right? And that was mind-blowing to me. Because if you can't take 15 minutes out of your day to set an alarm and do some recovery while you're sitting on the toilet, you know what I mean, instead of TikToking, like your priorities are fucked up. And like, I took that to heart. So sometimes 15 minutes, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes, sometimes I do a whole lot. And my recovery never suffers. I don't have that option, right? I don't have that. I just don't have that in me, right? I know from being here for a while that a lot of people get some time and then they fade away, right? Because life shows up and they got to deal with all these things, but it's not an excuse for me, right? Recovery saved my life. You know, the room saved my life, and I still show up for the newcomer because, you know, maybe I'll say some shit that makes them want to keep coming back, right? So am I perfect? Absolutely not. Did I say last Sunday, fuck that, I'm not getting up and going to the beach meeting? Absolutely, right? Because I was tired, man. You know, I don't know what self-care means. I don't know. Like, I got some raggedy ass nails. The only self-care I ever get is when Christina makes me go to the spa with her, you know, and we haven't done that in a while. You know, we celebrate together and we do these things together. And usually that ends up us being at a spa somewhere doing some amazing things. But left to my own devices, I don't do self-care. Like, my self-care is, you know, doing the laundry and cleaning the house and spending all day on the phone with people. I don't ever call anybody, but people call me, and that helps me, right? Thank God that people still have my phone number and still use it, because I don't know where I would be like if it was left to my own devices to call people, right? And I don't have balance. I will never pretend to have balance, but you know, I love my family, and I do need to take a little bit away from maybe work and not maybe. I definitely need to take a step back from working so much and spending more time with my family, right? I have Sophia, and I have my son, and you know, I have a relationship, and you know, that relationship suffers because I'm always tired, always cranky, always working, you know, and I don't have anything to give anybody else at the end of the day. And that's probably the biggest struggle in my life today. Like, I just don't have it to give after, you know, work all day, work all night, sponsees, answering phones, all these things that I do all day. And by the end of the night, when the people that really need me, when I have a little bit of time for them, I just don't feel up to giving it to them, you know? And that's a terrible place to be. That's a terrible place to be. So those are things I really need to work on, take a look at, right? And figure out a way to like get back on that little wave. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, you know, because in the beginning I wanted all those things, and I got all those things, and I have to maintain them. So how do I find balance in that? And I guess it's just a constant struggle, right? But it's a struggle I'm grateful for. You know, I worked my ass off to get where I am today, and like, I wouldn't change that for anything. And recovery is the way I got there, right? So I really hope that, like, I know everybody's recovery looks different, and everybody's life looks different, and everything is different. And like today, like, I have a job, not like with people in recovery, not like you guys do, but like, I have a job, I have a part in recovery, right? I left that labor intensive job, and I'm working in a more relaxed environment where I don't leave work tired and cranky, right? I don't leave my first job. So I feel like I've made steps to fix that balance a little bit, but you know, it's going to be a long road for me to ever find balance. And you know, my expectation on that is realistic, right? Balance is not something I'm trying to reach. And I don't know who the hell is calling the business this late, but it's not something I'm trying to reach either. It's just something that I'm trying to, you know, jump on the wave of.
Call line one.
That's awesome.
Call line one.
Call.
That's your higher power calling, bro.
Good
I
stuff.
need you to find that balance,
Tell me
okay?
to sit the fuck down.
Wave.
It's the wave.
That's
You know, I
just
like
about the wave.
I'm all about the wave, and not at the stadiums, but then in real life. You know, I'm all about the waves, because it is what it is. You know, you can't get stuck on, yeah, this might be just in this moment that we're down here in the valley. You know, we're down here in the rescending water, but we're about to be up here on that high. You know what I mean? Like, we're waiting for it to kind of crest, you know, the wave, right? And then it starts all over again. You know, we go through it. It's just like the stock market. Everything is like the same, you know. It's like radio waves and all this other stuff. It's just the way it is, you know. And I can't get stuck on what it looks like right now, because tomorrow's gonna be a new day. Tomorrow I can start over. You know, I can start anything tomorrow, right? I can even start tonight, really, shit. You know what I mean? If I wanted to. And usually I pick that's something I'm really, really good at now, is noticing things in me. And that's what makes us good people in recovery. is the self-awareness aspect, the self-awareness piece of this. I know myself better than anybody else now. Not before. Before, I didn't know shit about myself. I had no clue. Everybody else knew I was high before I did, but or I had a problem anyways. But now I'm really self-aware about what's going on with me. Why am I feeling this way? If I don't like something, I can change it at any given moment. I just have to step up my game. You know what I mean? Just like and I told myself I need to get back into going to meetings. It just got a little weird, things get weird, and Kenzie, I'm super excited for you. And hopefully we can get to see you at these events, because I think it's important that we out here and telling people exactly what's going on in these and what all the magic that's happening in this area. And I think that's where I get lost in the sauce, is trying to make that voice strong. You know what I mean? And I'm a hyper focused person, just like a lot of us addicts are very hyper focused. And when you get hyper focused on stuff, man, it's almost like locked on. I'm locked and loaded. Let's go. And then it can get a little messy, but then you can reel it back in and then keep going. You know what I mean? And I think that's where it's at right now. So, it's just, all right, it's a little messy at the moment. What do you have to do? All right, well, I'm going to stop doing this and and put this down and stop doing this over here. And then I'm going to clean this up over here. And it's just like any task that we have to do. You look at your house, it's a freaking mess, right? You got to vacuum, you got to pick up, you got to do dishes. Where do you start? Where do you start?
Just tear it all apart, throw it in a pile, and then separate it. Christina, I think the same way, girl.
You can't burn it down. So that's not, you can't. I mean, you can, but I know what that's like. But nobody wants to do that anymore.
We don't start.
We didn't start the fire.
Where do you start? You don't.
You go to bed and hopefully it'll disappear by the morning.
Just keep walking. Throw a blanket on it.
Yeah. But that's it, man. You got to start somewhere. If not, you just keep piling to the mess. You got to start somewhere. All right, I need to organize some things. I need to get some things figured out. And then you go through that and everything gets put in its place. And then and then it fucking gets messy again. It's just when you have your house clean, you have April come over and clean your house. And then you're like, didn't we just have this motherfucker clean?
I know. Yeah. What's a daily clean? How much does that cost? No, you're absolutely right. And then there's a couple of things I know. Like, first of all, I know that the person that I am at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night is not anywhere near the person I am come 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I got big plans at night. Come bedtime, I got big plans for the following day. And it's so funny because in my mind, I'm thinking 3 miles is not that far to run. I could probably knock that out first thing in the morning. And then I get up like, what? It's like I got two heads. You know what I mean? Like we're two different people. We're looking at like, you're crazy. I ain't doing that, but at 9
oh my God.
I'm thinking, I just got to get up and do it. I just got to do it, And, but I do know that like the awareness, right? At least we have awareness. We have awareness of like the areas that need to be tweaked a little bit. And I do know that like when I am running around crazy, like I do, I'm always like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted, but it's like, like I was saying earlier, I seem to function better. Right. But I do know in the certain areas, like where my family suffers or same thing, like when I come home and I ain't got nothing for my kids either. Like I literally just want to go in my room and I want to be really quiet, right? And I don't want to be messed with. And then on the weekend comes around and I'm thinking, I'll go take them to go do something. So I'm always trying to plan something for the weekend. But then you turn around and it's a $300 freaking day. And you're like, oh my gosh, that taps us out for the week. You know what I mean? Everybody have fun. See you.
No eating. No eating.
For the next paycheck. So it's like a balance, right? Because it's too expensive to do anything. But I think we just have to show ourselves grace because knock it off. I think we're doing better than we think we are, right? Yeah. And it just comes to like knowing that like we can't do everything, we can't be everywhere. We have to be able to like sacrifice, right, for the sake of our sanity. We have to be able to prioritize the things like when we know, okay, I need to sit my ass down and do some step work. We need to sit our ass down and do some step work. Or I need to, get my head out of my ass and be of service to my family and stop being of service to others. Then we get our head out of our ass and be of service to our families. I think, for today, we would be worse off if we weren't aware of those things, but we are aware of them. And when we're aware of them, we're able to make 1% changes to fix it and get to where we need to be. And that's why we're always a work in progress. I think that there's always going to be work to be done. There's always going to be something that we're going to have to improve on, and I'm not sure that there's 24 hours in the day. I'm thinking like we're down to like 18 because it's I feel like I lay down and it's like it's morning, and I'm just like, holy crap, or the day just flies by. So I would be willing to do a science experiment to see if we're really getting a full 24 hours.
They're lying to us, dude. When we're sleeping, it goes like 2 hours. Okay. Like, I'm going to sit here and watch the clock.
Better than we think we are. And, as long as we're aware that we need balance, then we can continue to work towards that balance. And I think that's the best, and the best we can do is just talk about it and that mindfulness. So then that when that one thing comes up, we're like, you know what? I was just talking about this and we're going to have to sit this one out. I'm going to have to sit this one out, or I'm going to have to, get out of my own
way.
Take
care. Until they get a cloning machine, right?
Yeah.
Then we can do more things.
Well, I thought that I cloned me a couple of mini-me's, but I got some duds. They are lazy.
Yeah.
So good.
They're under construction too, okay? All right? They're under construction.
I fear for them when they get older. I don't know what they're going to do.
Bro, I'm telling you.
I bet our parents said the same thing.
Bobby's like, I want a job. She filled out an application. I said, you got to call. She's like, I'm not calling.
That's a lot of adults too. Okay.
Up there. Like, well, how are you going to get the job? I don't know.
Don't they come to you? Where's DoorDash?
They come knock on the door and pick you up and take you there.
Listen, a lot of adults are that way too. So you know what I mean?
Right?
Like,
just
saying.
Try finding some employees, man.
Yeah.
I filled out applications. Don't you have a follow through? No, nothing. Okay, we need to do a whole prep course on that. Yeah.
I get
Something
it.
to add to the list of things to teach people.
Yeah, somebody wants to talk to you, Kinsey. It's very important.
We closed 5 hours ago.
And why are you still there?
It's probably she went there to clean it. She said that.
Oh, whatever. Well, now that you're the cleaning lady that answers phones.
I got a different uniform on. It's like Clark Kent. I just switch uniforms in the telephone booth outside and head to the next job. Clock out of one, clock into another.
Well, since you showed your shirt there for a second, what we're going to talk about now is the recovery walk. We have the 5th annual recovery walk coming up next weekend. So a week from this Saturday.
Yeah,
yes. A week from this Saturday. I'm just making sure. I don't know, man. The weeks go by so fast. You want to talk about 18-hour days. I'm like, where'd the month go? What the hell?
Right? Yeah.
We're lightning speed. I'm like, slow down. Like, I can't get older. I'm just going to sleep longer and go to bed and wake up at 6 a.m. for no particular reason. It's just whatever. Yeah, we're having the 5th annual recovery walk next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend. It's from 9 to 1, I believe. Right, Christina?
Yeah.
And we're going to have a great time. So if you guys have nothing to do and you are just want to have a great time and represent what recovery truly is in our community, this is going to be the place. And it's going to be, we're going to have a recovery countdown. We're going to have a clean time or recovery time countdown. That's what we call it. Keep it open-ended. And we're going to represent recovery in Sims Park. And if you don't know what that is, it's at Main Street and US 19 in Newport Richey. Man, come out. It's going to be a great time. I'm really excited. I'm always excited for the recovery walk. It's always one of my favorite times of the year. And it's the 5th annual, man. It's going to keep growing. It's going to keep getting bigger because recovery is getting bigger in our community. I tell you that. I feel it.
Yeah.
Feel it.
And don't listen to Justin. Even if you got something to do, go ahead and throw something else on your plate.
No,
I know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't
I
need
know.
balance. Not the 20th, at least.
You
You
might
know,
be
just
at Carpet at 9 o'clock, and you could be at Sims Park at 9 o'clock too. Just do it. Just do
Just
it.
cancel the other
I
one.
thought it was 10.
I'm gonna be in Newport
It
Richie.
It might be 10. We don't know.
The same damn
Whatever.
time.
I don't know what time I'm supposed to be there, but
Is Kelly still in the comments? So she could tell. Is it 10 or 9? Am I? Damn
was
it.
like-
I think we have to be there by 9 for the
to set up.
to set
Oh, we're
up.
doing great.
Let me just.
Well, why don't we let Kenzie talk about the event that Steps to Recovery is having on the 25th? It's October 25th.
It's October
right.
24th. I have to look at the flyer on my wall. So October 24th, we're doing the Stars, Stripes, and Spooky Nights. We're doing a fundraiser, a Halloween event at the Arapika Elks Lodge. So we're going to have a Halloween costume contest. We're going to have raffles and stuff like that. It's going to be a really great time. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's not a family event. So we're not encouraging children to come. It is a actual fundraiser. So if you guys want any more information on that, I do have it on my Facebook page. I post it all the time, and I will be bringing around flyers for everybody. Trying to get everybody involved in that. I know
There's spaghetti
Justin,
dinner.
you're coming.
Yep.
There is dinner. Yes, they're going to be serving
Spaghetti
dinner
Hmm.
and music.
Are you
and
serving?
all sorts of fun stuff. No. I'm
I didn't know if it
working
was
this.
Well,
Well,
I didn't know if
am
it was
working
celebrity
but
waiter or something. You know what I mean? I didn't know what it was. So I
I'll
was just
do
trying to
whatever
pinpoint.
they need me to do to help out. I will serve food, wash floors, whatever. Just smile and wave. Yeah, Steps to Recovery is super important. And we would really
Right.
appreciate the love. I really appreciate you guys letting me tag along with you to these events and get our name out there and get help for our veterans. So it's really important to me. I'm grateful for you guys.
Yeah, we're glad you joined the party because then we see all our people. So it's like it's like at home after that. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna show
Right,
what's up.
right. The other day was really cool. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
you
it
guys will have to-
was.
You guys will have to check out the Hope Shop page for the trunk or treat event that we are having at the Always Center on October 11th. That is a family friendly event, and we've
Yes, it
actually
is.
got a lot of great stuff for the kids and the families. So we encourage everybody to come on out. We bounce houses, slides, face painting. There'll be trunk or treat contests. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that's going to be October 11th from 6 to 9. So you can find that flyer on the Hope Shop page.
Yep, that's gonna be good stuff coming up this year, man. I'm excited. All right, guys. Well, thanks, Dave, for coming on tonight. Thank you, Kenzie and Christina. Always thank you for doing the clarity statement so well. And yeah, I think we're getting our shit together. This is awesome. This is awesome.
Kind of
One more
balanced.
thing that's kind of balanced. I mean, check that thing off. Let's go. All right, y'all, man. We'll see you next Sunday. No, we're not doing Sundays. Next Wednesday. Like it's going back to
You're doing
default.
great, Justin.
I am. Thank you, Kenzie. I needed that. We'll see you guys next Wednesday right here in Hope Shop. Love you all. Have a good rest of your week. Peace.